Hey, hello, and welcome to this masterclass. My name is Juliette Stapleton. I am a visibility strategist known as the Queen of Visibility, and I'm here today to talk about Facebook groups, how we can create Facebook group, and how we can create it with monetization in mind. So join me. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments. If you have any comments, add them in the comments. So let me dive right in. My background, I am, as I said, I'm a visibility strategist. What does it mean? I help people who are the face of their business to show up, gain confidence, to show up on Facebook. Facebook is where I do everything, and show up confidently, create visibility for their brand as themselves, and grow their business, grow their position of authority through that. And the twist on all that is that I use my personal profile, and these are the strategies that I teach using personal profile and Facebook groups. That's why this masterclass is, I'm so excited to talk you through. So let me first talk a little bit about Facebook groups in general. Do you need a Facebook group? Absolutely, it depends on the type of business that you have. And of course, it also depends on how you show up in your business. So if you are building a personal brand, so you are the face of your business, then you need to consider that building a personal brand is also building a position of authority and leadership. And leadership means that you can create a community of people who follow you, right? Of course, not every type of business, especially when it comes to brick and mortar businesses, it wouldn't suit to have a Facebook group necessarily. Other marketers argue that almost every business can have a Facebook group, because even if you're not teaching something, you can always use it for customer support, for doing something, just for actually generally hanging out with your audience if it's a local business, and creating this community of local people who do know you face to face when they come in and visit you. Or and then you extend this online and you create this almost one-on-one communication, which is actually the basis of a really successful business that guarantees return customers, return custom to you, right? It's like in the olden days where we lived in small separated communities. We're not so globalized. We didn't have huge supermarkets. So if somebody had a shop, if it was a butcher or any kind of small shop, that they would do everything, go out of their way to make sure that everybody in their local community is happy with what they're doing. So they would create relationships. It's not that they would only know what each person is buying, but they would also know everything about their families and everything, so they can have like chit chats. But there is a why behind that culture, and I absolutely love this approach, because when you go out of your way to connect to your customers on such a close level, right, then they become more than just customers. You become more than just a place where they shop. You create this impression, or like unforgettable association with someone who looks after you and the shop that you have, right? People love being looked after. People love when they go somewhere and that person knows some details about their family or some details about their life. You actually really kind of like being treated like as if you're special. I personally go to coffee shops. We have in the area that I live loads of coffee shops, right? But I go to those where the owners of the shop, or not the owners, just staff in the shop, sort of not necessarily knows my name by name, but they know who I am, right? They know who I am, they know what my regular drinks are, and we always have chit chats, and I feel at home. I feel I'm going there and I'm sort of welcomed, and it's a great connection. Of course, the owners of these coffee shops that employ staff that makes me feel like this are making a lot of more money from me than other coffee shops where we have not so friendly service. And this is just an example, and I love taking this example and bringing it into the social media, how we connect to people. Therefore, Facebook group is where you hang out. Facebook group is that coffee shop where people come in and they make you make them feel special. You make them feel like you know them. You make them feel like, they are bringing something in your life as well, and you are giving something to them. So whatever your business is, you can consider whether you need a Facebook group for it or not. It depends on how much of this communication you can get going, right? If your business has anything to do with information, and you can teach or provide support for your product, that's sort of more in-depth knowledge, or even just connect to people by interest. For example, if you have a crafts shop, you absolutely can have a group, and you can teach people and show people all these wonderful things that you're selling and how they could be used in creative ways, and so much more. So you need to decide, first of all, before you even dive in and set up a group, which I'm going to share my screen and show you how to do step by step. So you will leave here, if you want to follow me, you will leave here with the group ready for making money, right? But you need to first decide, do you need a group? And if you do, the next thing you need to think is what will work for you, and how do you do that? How do you do that? You need to basically go to and join other groups and see how it's done. See how you personally feel in other people's groups. Join groups that have the same theme that maybe your business has, right? So for example, if I'm a visibility strategist, which I teach digital marketing strategies, particularly Facebook, particularly organic strategies, I would join groups of people who are like me, right? And I will see what they're doing in those groups. I will see also what works for me. Maybe I also join groups that maybe don't teach about Facebook like me, but maybe they teach about LinkedIn, right? And I will see what works for me in those groups and what doesn't work for me. And so you have to conduct your research and see which things you like, and those are the elements that you're going to be implementing in your group, and which things you don't like, and those are things that you will try and stay away in your group. You see, when you're creating a group, you are becoming a leader of a tribe, right? You're going to grow your tribe. Some people don't like the word tribe, but I think it's okay. I don't see it, and some American people get very offended, but we are not going to go in there. So your tribe is going to look up to you. So how you're going to show up, and especially what sort of tone of voice you're going to take as a leader in that group, is very important. And these are all considerations that you have to take on board before, or things that you have to consider before you start setting up the group. Right? It's also maybe the feel. Do you want your group to be somewhere where, it's like a networking event, right? Or is it going to be like a coffee shop where you just hang out casually? Are you going to give people a voice and let them, post in your group? And, I mean, you should always allow people to post in your group, but will you allow people to just post inspirational stuff? Or do you want to have a group, a learning group? My group personally is a learning group. This is my business. The core of my business is to teach. So of course my group is where I provide free support for people who want to learn. That leads to my business. So my group is more me talking to my tribe, me teaching my tribe. That's why they call me the Queen of Visibility. I'm the queen. I have my people, and I give my wisdom to my people, right? So this is how it works, but it could be the other way. It could be a community where everybody has their voices, and everybody's posting, and there is discussions. And it depends what is the goal of the group for you. That will determine what type of group you would want to create. A word of warning though, that if you give people a chance to talk, especially if you're trying to support your business, very easily this opens the door for spammers and people who will try and poach the other members in your group. And it's not easy to grow a group, right? It takes time, it takes consistency, it takes a lot of your time and effort, and you're not going to monetize your group from day one. It's like with everything, if you come to a party and nobody knows you at that party, you have to get in touch with people. You have to sort of get to know them and get them to like and to trust you, right? Before you can even discuss any sort of business arrangements with them. It's the same on social media. So we have to invest our time and invest our effort into building this community so we can give and be re-given with when we make an offer, right? Or bringing them back into our businesses. So that brings me into another consideration that you need to that stops a lot of people, or that is a concern, right? And it is a name of the group. I see a lot of people saying, I want to create a group, you know, I have something that I can share, I have something that I can teach, but I don't know what to call it, and so they don't create a group. The name of your group, right, is it's not that it's not important, it's extremely important, but it's not something that should stop you from creating a group and start bringing people into your tribe. People are there for you. People are not there for the name of the group as much. If you are ready to become a good leader, they will be following you and your energy and your light, and not what the group is called, right? However, also sometimes you might change direction. For example, I started my group 2 years ago, right? It was about 2 years ago, and I wasn't even sure at that stage. I already had my digital marketing agency for 6 years, but I started, you know, my online business with my face on the business. It was like Juliette Stapleton brand I'm building, and I wanted to teach and coach. That was the start of my coaching business, and I wasn't sure exactly what I'm going to do. So I just called my group Easy Marketing for Solopreneurs. Easy Marketing was the name of my company, still is, and I just started from there. It was more important to bring people in, to start teaching them something, to start communicating, to start building these relationships and making them feel like they're an exclusive group of people that I am sharing my wisdom with, right? Then what the group was called. However, over time, I've changed the name of my group 5 times, right? Now my group is called Social Media Visibility That Gets Clients. And even though I'm really more about Facebook, but who knows, later on, maybe I'm going to expand into other networks, and I'm going to be teaching about other networks as well. The strategies I teach are applicable to every social media network, because it's a general principle, really, right? So, but you have to understand about social thing. But we're going to, this is a little bit later, but this name has all the keywords that are important for people to find the group that they need. For example, social media, right? So if somebody's looking for social media visibility, social media marketing, social media client attraction, I have all those words in my group name. So when you're thinking about the group name, you have to think about search engines. You need to think about people searching for something, or even Facebook. When Facebook suggests groups, you know, if you're on the desktop, on the right hand side, you have group suggestions when you're in the group. Those suggestions will be based on things that you're interested in, or searching for, or typing in. And, you know, so if your interest is social media or online visibility, or attracting clients, my group is likely to be shown you in suggestions, because I've chosen this smart name and I used keywords in the name. So that's something very important. So we talked about, do you need a group or not? So far we talked about what is the feel, what is the, you know, you need to research what you like in other groups and bring that in, make a list, make a Google Doc where you just saving things, and or maybe even Evernote, where you can actually like do screen captures and save them there, like swipe other groups. You know, there's always something that you can do. So that was the research, and naming the group is very important, because even though you can start with whatever and change the name later on as you evolve, every time you change the name, think about the keywords that people would be looking for. So you need to think not about what you're doing, you need to think about how people call it, right? That's all going down to, you know, understanding how your ideal client talks. But that's not the training. Today is not the training about the ideal client. I'm looking down there because I have like a list of things, because I want to cover everything. This is actually part of the big program that I have called Fearless Client Attraction Academy. And this is like a whole module that I'm giving you today. So I hope you're happy with that, because I'm very happy to share. So let me share screen, right? And we are going to go and create a group, and just do it just like that. So, and this is my personal profile here. All you have to do, it's so easy these days, you just go into this button, create, click on that, and you create a group, right? I'm just gonna create a group. I'm just gonna create a group that is going to be called, I'm gonna call it Setting Up a Facebook Group for Monetization. Okay. Okay. Right? So in a way, I'm already thinking keywords here. Anyway, and I'm going to add some people. I'm just going to add, oh, I can't add myself. I'm going to add a friend of mine, Jackie. There. Okay, perfect, because you need to add some people to start with. So, you know, it's always like I used to add my daughter, but she's now 18, so she has a huge issue with getting notifications from my group. The next thing is privacy of the group. So there's 3 types of groups that exist. So one, the one that is here is closed group, and sometimes I think in America it's called private. Private or closed group is the group that can be found in the search, but you can't see inside the group unless you join, right? So it's the best type because you make it more exclusive for people. Yeah, exclusive. You make it more exclusive for people. So you have to be this VIP person inside the group to see the content, to see all the goodies. I usually choose this group for my groups, but there's also other types. So there's also a public group, and a public group is it's normal group. You can see all the posts inside the group, right, without being a member of the group. What is it good for? It's good for any sort of, I think, charity organizations, like non-for-profit organizations. It's good for everywhere where you don't necessarily need people to feel exclusive to this group or, you know, special, but you want to spread the word. It doesn't really work if you're a coaching consultant or anyone sharing information. Definitely choose the closed group, because you do want these people, you're nurturing your leads, right? So you want to narrow that funnel. You don't want to just for everybody to see it. The advantage of the public group is you can share posts out of the public group. You know, you can share them out into the world and everybody will be able to see it. Whereas if it's a closed group, there is no share button. It only exists within the closed group. There's also such a thing as a secret group, and a secret group is good for a pop-up group. There is no link, you know, you can't find it in the search engine, but with a special link, people who are already added into the group, they can access this secret group. It's probably good for something like a coaching group, you know, that you're creating just for, say, a few months or something, or something like a small exclusive group that is not going to be there forever. There's also a little bit of an issue. I remember setting up a group and sending a link to it. If people are not already part or invited by the admin into the group, they can't even find it, they can't see it. So this is a bit of an issue with that. So closed group is the way to go for most of the cases. Okay, so let me just go in, and this button here, pins to shortcuts, is if I open the other page, so no, not this one, home page, or this is actually my own group, but if I go into home page and I check it out, so on the left hand side, right, these are the shortcuts that I have, and I can, if I create a new group, there I am. If I click this, my group will go onto the top of that list. There's only 10 groups that you can pin at any time, single time, so don't go pinning like crazy. Let's create the group. Okay. Waiting a little bit. Let me just have a drink of water. Perfect. So now we have the group. So what we can do, we need to start preparing it for the world, right? There is a few things that you need to do. We are going to first, before we do all the, you know, external things like the group cover and the description, we're actually going to go into group settings, and that's done into going to these 3 dots, more, and edit group settings. By the way, just to let you know, you won't be able to see the group insights until you have, I think, 30 members or 100 members. So you need to, after you have 100 members, you will get insights, so you get, you know, to see what countries they're from and who is the most engaged and everything, you know. But 100 people in a group is nothing. So when you're creating your group, make sure that you are putting a lot of effort in growing your group, right? Okay, so we have our group name. In the settings here, this very cool thing that you can create your own little icon. Well, not your own, you have to select from pre-existing ones. The next thing is group type. Now, most of the group types have no difference from who they are, sorry, from the features that they have, right? Only 3 types add several features. So buy and sell obviously will have the posts for selling, video games adds certain features to the group, and social learning adds units to the group. And I absolutely love, because I'm teaching, I'm a trainer, and obviously all my groups then will be social learning groups. I will show you inside my social media visibility that gets clients. This is the units section, and in the units section I have everything grouped, including the induction, which I highly recommend to have an induction in your group, where I lay out everything as is, you know, all the expectations, what to do in the group, what are the group rules, you know, welcome video, everything there. So it's great. I have loads of things here. 5-day social media planning challenge, you know, you can see the different trainings I do on Facebook profile page, groups again, hacks, you know, mini course. So this is a brilliant way of, if you're teaching, to set up your group. The rest, they don't have any special features, so it's only just to indicate to people who are joining what sort of group it is, or what's the goal or the purpose of the group. So for this, I'm going to add social learning here, just because I like it. If you add social learning, so if you set your group as a social learning group, you get this unit section, and you can decide whether when people go into the group link, will they see the posts first or will they see units first. And again, if you are doing any sort of sharing information, or what I have been doing recently, and I've been using Facebook groups for my online courses, for the simple reason is that you can communicate with people literally there and then. When they're watching the trainings, they can add a comment and tag you, and you can reply straight away to them. But then, guys, I am the queen of visibility who lives on Facebook, right? So Facebook is my thing, and that's why I host my courses here. The next thing here is we need to create a description, and the description is what people see before they join the group. You know, this is something that is important to fill in. If the group is, for example, you're supporting, maybe you have like an online course, so you're supporting people, they already paid for something to be part of your group, then definitely add a link where other people can sign in, you know, sign up for that offer. So the next, guys, I see the comments. Thank you so much for the comments. I'm going to go through them, but I don't see who is commenting because I'm using a software called Ecom Live. It's a third-party software, and it doesn't allow me to see your names. You have to go and give me special permissions. Don't bother. I'm going to open the browser on the different computer and go through if you have any questions, go through the questions later. So we're going to add the description. I actually didn't prepare that, so I'm going to say this is a group for people who mean business and want to grow their business with Facebook groups. Groups. So we have the description, right? Then next, location. So obviously, if you are a business that you work face-to-face with people and you are relying on a local area, then you add the location. I sometimes just put planet Earth as the location, because or you can even say where you are, you know, it depends. So you can say, I'm at the moment, I'm in Ireland. I'm from Estonia, by the way, I'm not from Ireland, but I can put Ireland. Oh, it's only cities. Not good. Not good. It's not fair. Okay, is it gonna tell me Ireland, or is it just wants to say Dublin? All right, okay. So location, guys, is a city. It's a new thing. I'm not going to put location. Don't have to, right? Okay, so if your business relies on local people, and or you know it's important for you to state where your location is, that's where you set up the location. The next is tags, and tags are important for people to find your group. So, and for Facebook to show your group in the group suggestions, right? And that again it's all based on the Facebook analyzing your interests, you know, what you're clicking, what you're reading, who you're interacting with, and what they represent. So for example, here I definitely would have Facebook marketing. We see it gives me suggestions. So Facebook business, okay, social media. I want to add interests. I don't want to add pages. Okay, No, they're just pages. So I'm going to just, I want to add interest. So I'm going to put Facebook business, social media. I'm going to leave it. You don't have to add these tags, guys. It's not that even that important, you know, but you want to search for the interests rather than actual physical businesses. So if I put marketing, there, marketing. So if you see a flag, right, the flag would be like an interest. Okay, next, apps. For example, I'm using right now Ecom Live. Ecom Live is a fantastic ops streaming software, and it's a standalone Mac-only software. But for it to be able to join, you know, to stream into my group, I need to add permissions for it. So that's where I would add Ecom Live, but it's also very good if you're using any kind of scheduling software. Maybe you have themed days in your group or something like that. You will need to add like Hootsuite or Recurpost, or I use OneUp app, which is really good as well. I don't know why it's not loading, but that's where you're putting it in. Okay, while it's loading, I'm gonna quickly check out who is on the stream here and say hello and all that jazz. Okay, so you see, while I'm multitasking here like crazy, you can see that you can look for apps. Oops, no, back. Maybe it's because I'm streaming now. It's starting to hang a little bit and not showing us the features. Okay, guys, if it's... Oh, I just hope it didn't... I just hope it didn't start hanging on me. No. Okay, this is not good. Oh yeah, okay, fine. I think I know what's happening now. My husband is watching football, so my internet is going. I apologize to you guys, but when you're working from home, then this is what you have to deal with. Let me just not look for the apps. I'm gonna try not to trigger any heavy stuff, and we're just gonna go ahead. Okay, so linked pages. We're going to do this because this is part of monetization in the group, but I'm not going to do it straight away right now. I'm gonna go back to it, and because I want to explain to you why you want to link your group, your Facebook page to your group. You can choose the color here. If you click on the button here, choose color, the palette appears. It doesn't affect the desktop version, but on the phone, all the accent colors can change. So if you want a pink, you can use pink. The next one is very important, web address. And this is basically a link, because at the moment, if you can see, the link to this group is just numbers. Now, if it's a group that for example, if I was creating a group just for my coaching group of people, and it will only last maybe a few weeks or something, then I wouldn't bother creating the name. But if it's a group that's going to be a permanent group, a free group for support, you know, that's where you nurture your leads. Of course, you want to create an address, and all you have to do for that is just, you know, put, let's say we had setting up Facebook groups for monetization. I don't know if I'm... All right, okay, hang on. There. Oh, I can't use the words Facebook. Okay, setting up group for monetization. So Facebook in groups, so in groups URLs, in pages URLs, in pages names, it forbids you to use the word Facebook or FB as abbreviation. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so if I click on customize address, it's going to reload here and create an address. By the way, guys, see what happened? The moment I reloaded it, my group type that I picked before disappeared. I've noticed these are little, we call them face bugs, but those are little things. And my icon that I set up in the beginning is gone as well. So I'm going to put it back. Right? So these things, so every time you change something, and the description is gone. So, okay. I'm just going to put the word description. Next, let's go. I just want to go through all these details. So the privacy we've set up when we created the group, but if you created the group and it's, let's say it's a public group, but you want it to be a closed group, you can just go into your group settings and change the privacy. So, and you can, if you're joining me now, you can go into the beginning of this masterclass and check out what's the difference between the closed group or private group and then public and the secret one. Okay, this one is important. So you see here on the side, we still don't have the units, even though we've chosen the group as a social learning unit, right? So we just add this. I'm afraid it's going to reload and everything's going to be gone. Well, if it is, it is. So we know, at least we know, the problem with, the thing with technology is that when you see that there's a bug or something like this happens, right, then you know it. So we're going to go through all the changes now, and then at the very, very last save, we will go pick the group type again, all these things, and then we will save it and then exit, and that's done. So that's just something that you need to know. Okay, membership approval. Anyone in the group or only admins and moderators? I strongly, strongly recommend that you do not let everybody in the group to approve people joining the group, because if, as a leader of your pack, of your tribe, you want to have control. You want to have control who is joining your group and who is not joining your group. And if you're growing your group for business, you definitely want to decline some of the people who seem wrong. I do not allow everybody in my group. There's people there from places that I know they're never going to be my clients, but it's not even about them being my clients, but it's about the fact that I know that these people are wrong for my group. They might not even speak English. So why would I let them in? You have to moderate. You have to be in control. If you just start focusing on growing your group quickly, you're going to lose control of the quality of the group, and the quality is always much more important than the quantity. There's so many groups that are huge and they're just full of real low quality audience, low quality people who don't bring any value, and no matter how the admins are trying to give value or give something into the group, it's just, wrong people. They're talking at a wrong audience because that's what they allowed. Okay, so let's go next one. Chat creation permission. Oh, this is a new thing with allowing to create group chats with the members of the group. I am 100% against it, because again, it doesn't give you as a leader full control, and somebody who wants to spam somebody will start creating groups and chat with these people and spam them. Not everybody likes being added to a group chat, and that will give bad vibe, because the association will be that they experienced this in your group. When I started my group and I only had about 120 people, a gentleman joined, and he was from Turkey, but he lived in Dublin here. He was a businessman in Dublin. I saw his profile on LinkedIn. He looked absolutely legit, and I let him join my group, and then very shortly I got a message from another girl saying that he was basically sending her messages of unwanted nature. That sort of reflected, so she was upset with me because he was part of my group, right? So if you're a leader, you're taking responsibility for the quality of people in your group. Definitely no chats, only admins. I would choose, and here's why we need to change that as well. Okay, so membership pre-approvals. Where would you use that? If, for example, I have a paid group for my online course, but I also have an online coaching group, which that's where the big results are coming within my business, right? So everybody who is in my coaching group have access just automatically to my academy courses, online courses. So I can set up, if I was setting up a group for my coaching group, I would just add my online course group as pre-approval. So if they're in that group, I don't need to approve them if they ask me to join into this group, right? And because I only send my coaching clients the link to the new group, the rest of the students who didn't purchase the coaching package, they wouldn't be joined, they wouldn't know the link, right? So it's not a concern. Okay, next thing here, I'm just going to leave this ask questions for 1 second, just ask it aside. Membership requests from pages. Again, this is a new 2018 thing that you can join a group as a page. I have no idea why would you allow a brand to join your group, because especially if you are growing your group as a business, right? You don't want other brands or other businesses to come in and poach your members. So I definitely recommend against it. I'm sure that there is some scenarios where maybe this is appropriate. Maybe if it's it's a non-for-profit, maybe it's like a dog rescue group, and then charities or rescues, business pages set up for rescues can join them, so people can communicate with them directly. Yes, absolutely. In that kind of scenario, I see the point. But if you're growing the group to create, to build your business, then absolutely do not allow other pages to join your group. The only page that should be in your group is your business page, and we're going to be talking about it a little bit later because it's part of the monetization of the group. And the next couple of things left here. So who can post? I allow everybody usually to post, but I make sure that I have post approval ticked. I want to be able to see the posts that are going into my group, and I'm very, maybe because I'm doing that, maybe because I have real serious tone set up. I have an induction in my group where I am telling my new members that, hey, I'm here in business. This is part of my business, right? This is free support for my business. You're a business person. You're coming here. Do not expect to pick my brain for free because I'm giving you a lot of free stuff here. So the next step is learning. So I'm setting up people to straight away know that when they're in my group, they're learning, but there is more, that is underpaid, sort of paid training hat that can give them more results, and then I don't get this, I don't get people saying, oh, have a look at my website. Well, that's my time. So I just hope that you're getting the idea. That's why I'm approving all my posts, and the only time when I take it off, if somebody like myself doing the masterclass here and I invite experts to do a masterclass in my group, then, and doing it live, then of course I need to untick this. Story posting permission, that's another thing. It's if you're using stories are great. They're great because they appear quite vividly, on top of the news feed, and they, and also because they're very dynamic. They're not the algorithm that we have in the news feeds filtering all the posts doesn't affect stories. The stories like first come first base. So if you want to shoot 20 stories, I'm talking right now maybe on your personal profile, they are the ones that's going to be first. If you want to be very visible, you should definitely use stories more. I personally don't use stories for my group because my target audience is someone who doesn't use stories and doesn't understand them either, and very, very unlikely looking at them as well. So I don't use that. I just use some stories on my personal profile for my personal visibility. But again, this is a different training. Stories is a different training, but you can decide if you're going to allow anybody to create a story for your group. I wouldn't, because that opens the doors for spammers and scammers. So we don't need that. And obviously, only you don't even need to tick this if only admins and you're the admin can create a story. But anyway, so I'm going to save this now, right? Changes are saved. Okay, but now it doesn't reload the page the only time. Let's talk about, so we've set up the group, right? Setting up the cover, I'm not going to even go through that. It's not as important. You take a picture, you can Google the cover dimensions and, create a picture, put the cover onto your group. What I want to talk about is two things that help you make money in the group. When you're creating a group, you're creating your tribe. When you're creating your tribe, you're there to nurture your leads. When they come into the group, they're most likely called to like lukewarm leads. They know you maybe from your personal profile or your business page, whichever way you're bringing them into the group from. And maybe you advertise something, maybe you have a Facebook ad and you have a freebie, so they don't really know you that much. They just took your freebie and the next page, the thank you page, was to join your group, right? Maybe something like that. That kind of funnel is very successful as well. But they don't know you. So the group is where you really shine as an expert, right? You can do a bit of that on your personal profile. This is what I specialize in building you brand as an expert and authority using your personal profile, because it has much better reach than the business pages. Or you can do it through business pages, but the group is where you can have the communication that you cannot have as the page. People don't talk to offices, people talk to people, right? So it's always going to go through you. And that's where you need to remember that when you're starting the group and when people are coming into the group, it's not immediately that they will be ready to buy from you. You need to nurture them, you need to warm them up, you need to, to make them like you, not make them, not force them, but they want to know, like, and trust you. Trust is very important. That's why we have the masterclasses, that's why we have, the trainings, that's why we give so much free support. This is to build the trust that you're going to be there, that you know what you're talking about, and you are someone that, deserves the money for the support that you can get on the paid level. So when we're getting people into the group, there is one place, such an important place, where you can collect marketing data that will help you not only phrase, you know, your messaging and using the using particular phrases and using themes as well and topics to create content in your group, because that's a lot of people get really, you know, they get really overwhelmed with saying, well, what am I going to post? Well, ask people what their problems are, right? Ask people, and this is where ask questions is so amazing. We have 3 questions we can create here, and also this is a place where you can build your list, because you can offer in one of those questions, you can say, would you like me to send you my such and such freebie? If yes, type your email address. And bam, you can grow your list, so you can nurture them in your email sequences. Or even, you know, you can now you can't use clickable links, right? So you can't bring them into the bots from these questions, but you still can, you can ask them for the email address and then send them a link to your bot if you want it. You know, there's always ways around it, but you can ask questions here, and the questions could be, for example, you know, for example, if I am a visibility strategist, so I want to ask people what's holding them back. You know, why do you think you need to be more visible? What's holding you back? You know, or I can also ask them, you know, I can ask them what is, where they're from. Especially in the beginning, when you just set up a group, right? And you don't know where your audience is from. So you don't know with your ads what countries to, if it's a global one, what countries to target, or what cities to target. You can ask them where they're from. You can ask them, you know, what's holding you back. You can ask them, what is your dream scenario if visibility works? Like I can ask if in your dream scenario, if you become very visible online, how does it feel for you? Why am I asking this? Because for my business, I'm not, you know, solving a problem to people. I am actually making their lives better. So I want to know their vision of what it is when it's better. Right? So this is some of the things you can do. This is the marketing research that will really help you package your offers, even package the way you speak to people and what you're selling and how you call your programs, because literally they can give you everything in this. And you can ask me, okay, fair enough, but what if I have 20-30 people joining me every day? How am I going to manage, you know, taking their email addresses? And I can tell you that there is a plugin that you can get, and I'm going to drop the link here. There's a plugin you can get, and it's called Group Funnels, and Group Funnels is an extension on your browser that helps you approve members. You can decline the ones that you don't want, but it helps you to approve everyone else automatically and save that data into the Google spreadsheet. I mean, seriously. And then add to that some integration with Zapier and your email, whatever email campaign program you're using. I'm using Active Campaigns. So I have an integration with Zapier. Zapier checks that Google Sheet, right? Extracts the emails, adds them to my Active Campaign software, and creates my contacts. And my email list is growing on autopilot just from people joining my group. It's all about automation, right? Loads you can do, and this is something that I think it's like $297 lifetime, the price for this plugin, and it's the best thing I've ever done, right? So that's something that we'll do. Okay, let me just see. That was one of the things, the monetization thing, because, you know, nurturing, bringing people into your email list, growing your email list on automation especially, and nurturing people inside your group, that's already halfway to making a sale, right? You impress them, and you don't even have to hard sell because of who you are. They're already buying into you. People don't buy from you, they buy into you. And this is so, so important. Okay, so let me just go back here. You know what? We already discussed that these things get reset, so make sure you have your description and make sure that you pick a group type. I'm just going to add social learning. You will have to watch this masterclass from the start, and I'm going to say to know what's the difference for social learning groups. Okay, so we have our group, and as I said, I don't have to upload the photo. I do have a group photo, but I'm just not going to do this now at the moment, right? Now, what I want to show here, what I want to talk about here is the second part of monetization approach to the group. if you have a business page, and I'm sure you have a business page, you can link it to the group. There are some people, some marketers claim that that stops the reach for the posts made by the page inside your group. That could be the case, that not everybody in the group sees those posts because of the limited reach we have on Facebook business pages in general, you know. So it wouldn't be fair to think that if you have a limited reach, organic reach, limited reach on the Facebook business page, but then if you connect it to your group, then the reach will be like everyone in the group will see it. No, that's not fair. So you can ask me, Juliette, why then would I ever connect my group to my page? Well, this is where we have the long-term thinking. And we're going to talk about retargeting, right? So if we have a business and we have a business page, we can connect our business page to the group, and we can use the group as the business page, particularly to stream videos. So when we are streaming videos inside the group, it's only people in the group that can see those videos. So what you can do then is you can use your bot to promote the video inside your group, right? That could grow your group if people on your bot list is not in the group as well, and also make your group much more engaged for those people who are already part of your group. What happens next is that when you stream a video inside a group as your business page, everybody who's seen that video, all that data is going into Facebook page data, right? And that means that you can create custom audiences from people who viewed videos inside your group. And this is so powerful. So how do you do that? I have my business page here, right? And all I have to do, it's very easy to link. I can go into groups, and I can link my group here. There's the group, it's already showed, right? I can click link here and it would be linked. And the other way, just so you know, and the other way is to go into group settings and link the page here. And I have so many pages that I manage, but so I can link the page here, right? When I link the page, I'm going to show you what's happening. Now, you can link the pages. Remember just one thing. I suggest that you do this in your free group and you retarget people who watched your videos in that free group with ads later on. For example, when you're having your launches or anything that you want to, you know, reinforce some sort of offer that you're making. If you link your group, your business page to your private group, that, for example, just the coaching clients or something like that, you don't really need everybody else to see that group and try and join it, then don't link the group. So what I do in the groups is I post as my personal profile and I interact as my personal profile if it's just text post. But all videos I try and I stream as my page, and therefore then when I'm making my launches, I can retarget people who watch those videos, and those would be warmer leads. I can retarget them with ads and help them make the right decision. Okay, so this is where you can change. I apologize for that, guys. You can change how you're using your group, right? So you can see here how you're interacting, and the rest you basically pretty much heard, you know. So I use the group, I use the page to stream videos, and I use my personal profile to comment, to interact, and to post any text or images or any kind of other posts, because that information is not important for the ads. It's only videos that we can create audiences from. So I don't really need to limit the reach in any shape or form. I didn't see that huge limit, and to be honest with you, you need to remember when you're posting something on Facebook inside the group as well, if it's something of an importance, promote it. Don't expect that people will just see it, you know, and magic will happen. It's all about outreach on Facebook, personal messages, bots, you know, promoting things, sending links to whatever you did everywhere, posting them on other social media networks so people can come into your group and see what you're doing there. It's all about promotion, you know, nothing comes for free. So that's me. We've just created a group, right? We talked about the purpose of the group. We talked about how to think about the name of the group. We talked about all the settings that you need to think about in the group. We talked about making sure you're asking questions, because that's your marketing research, and that will help you create things and give your group what they actually need. Take your offers, then take what their aspirations or pain points are, and then just use the wording to present you what you're doing in the right way for them, and they feel like you really dig them, you really not dig them, you really get them, because you're giving them what they actually want. Another thing that you can do, actually, if you are collecting pain points, you can create content. If there's people saying like, I don't have money now to invest in my business, this is such a ridiculous, to be honest with you, excuse, because first of all, a lot of expenses when you're investing in your business are write-off tax money, so you're not really paying from your pocket. But secondly, if you don't invest in your business, it's very difficult to grow, so it's a mindset thing, and I need to get over this. But I could create, for example, a freebie, how to make money online quick. There's different ways, like you can sell something. I can sell my couch on eBay, right, and make money. But I'm just saying that you take the objection and you create the content that helps overcome this objection. And asking questions on arrival, when people arrive into your group, is such a great place to get that information. It's really, really priceless. And I'm going to put a link now to the plugin that I mentioned called Group Funnels. That is an affiliate link, but it's not going to cost you anything if you decide to get that. It's just going to give me a tiny bit of a commission, which is fair enough because I refer it. If you have any questions about this, pop them in the comments and tag me. So even if I finish this masterclass, I'm still part of the group, so I can come back and I can help you with your questions. And also, if you want to join my group, if this is something that, if personal brand is something that you're interested in growing, it's called Social Media Visibility That Gets Clients, and the link is just in the description of this video. It could be there, it could be there, it could be there. It depends on what device you're on right now. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Juliette Stapleton. I am a visibility strategist known as the Queen of Visibility, and I hope you enjoyed this broadcast today. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and goodbye.